So far, so good. Uh-oh, spoke too soon. This calls for a Sword of Omens special. Thunder! 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 Thundercats! Oh!
So you want to play Heman and Thundercats on your ARCADE1UP? Let's do this! Here we go! Arizona's Arcade Heroes.
Welcome back to Arizona's Arcade Heroes. What a fun episode this is. If you're anywhere near my age, don't mean to date myself, but you probably love He-Man and Thundercats. We grew up watching the cartoons, we know the songs, we know the characters. A lot of us even had the toys. Now, this is a pretty cool episode because I'm going to show you guys how you can actually play this open board game that it's a He-Man game, but it has a Thundercats twist to it. So one of the cool things about this is that it runs on just about any PC. You don't need a fancy computer. It should play on most laptops, computers, and I do want to mention that you do need a modified ARCADE1UP. So if you have not modified your ARCADE1UP, go back and watch my video that will show you how to do that. I'll have the link in the description. It's called How to Mod Your Ninja Turtles cabinet, but it works with any of the ARCADE1UPs. You have to have an HDMI input on the back of your monitor so that you can hook up your computer. But we all love He-Man and Thundercats, but we've never really had a good game for either one of those. In fact, I don't think we've had a game at all. I think there might be a couple of like handheld games and that sort of thing, but nothing on the big screen that we could play. So I'm pretty excited to show you guys this. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the gameplay first so you can take a look at it and see if you like it. But I'm also going to have the link in the description for this game so you can go to it and download it yourself. But then we're going to take a look at how you can play it right on your ARCADE1UP. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here we go. Alright, so the link will be in the description for this, as I mentioned, but it's going to be at GameJolt.com. You can search out He-Man and pull up the game right there and actually download it to your computer. So here's a look at the game. It's pretty neat as far as nostalgia. It'll start off by showing the original theme song from the show. You can skip right through that. Now, once you hit the enter key to start the game, you're going to see you have a few options here. I just wanted to go through a few of those just to kind of give you an idea of what's in here. Now, you can set your video options as far as the screen size. If you want it to be a small window or full screen, I've got it on window mode right now, but you'll want to set it to full screen for your ARCADE1UP. Once you go into the controllers, this is where you can set up. You'll notice it has every single button. So I'm going to show you how to configure that on the ARCADE1UP, but for now, I'm just going to use the stock keys that it has you use for the game on the keyboard. But you will notice it's a 4-player game. So if you do have a 4-player deck and you have 4 USB ports on your PC or your computer, you can play 4 players. Now there's a standard story mode, but there's also a versus mode. And of course, He-Man is the main character of the game, along with She-Ra as well. And it's also got Battle Cat / Cringer on here. And Man-at-Arms, of course, He-Man's trusty sidekick. Then you've also got Teela. And also Ram, one of the villains. And we've got Orko, of course. And then also the Sorcerer Supreme. And let's not forget about our villains. We've also got Evelyn and Skeletor. Skeletor also has his Purple Panther. Now, one of the best parts of the games is, here it is guys, you can be Lion-O from the Thundercats. So of course I'm going to go with Lion-O here and just show you some of the gameplay. Now you'll notice it's got the sounds and the music you're familiar with. Now the versus mode is pretty neat. You can fight the computer. If you're on the keyboard, they're going to obliterate you because you need to be able to use the joystick. It's got moves via Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat type combos. So there are a lot of moves that you can learn and use within the game. But it's fun to play versus mode. You can of course use up to 4 players, so you can fight 2 against 2, 3 against 1. Now I'm going to continue, or I'm going to actually cut back to the main menu here, and then I'm going to show you the story mode. And let's go with Lion-O again here, the Thundercats. Now the neat thing about this game is it is like a standard arcade game. It does have a certain amount of continues, so you're not able to just continue through the game and beat it. I believe you have 10 continues to start, and I think you have 3 or 4 lives. But there's a huge map, guys, so you can actually pick which levels you want to do in any order, and they're all different. So I'm just going to pick one of the first levels here on the map, and we're going to go in, and you'll see it is a side-scrolling beat-em-up, kind of like Final Fight or Punisher. Now the mission here is to protect this guy from getting hurt, but I'm just kind of going through easy here to show you some of the gameplay. Now you'll see each player has like a shoot combo, kind of like Mortal Kombat, where you do the get over here or the freeze. It'll actually shoot energy out of the sword. Let's go back to the map and pick a different one here. Okay, so here's a normal level as we go to the right with Lion-O. You'll see there's stuff in the environment. There's lots of different enemies. You'll even face off against some of the main bad guys in the game, such as Merman and Beastman. So I'm going to fight some of these guys and just show you. You can punch and do combos, and you notice it's got those cool sprite type graphics with the sparkles on the screen. Looks very cool when you're playing it on the arcade. And there's flying enemies, there's enemies that come out of the ground, there's huge boss men that will come out, and you'll see civilians running from some robot type creatures here. But it is very fun to play with Lion-O alongside Heman, or even some of the villains side by side. Here's some shadow guys to give you guys an idea of the versatility of the enemies. There's some landmines on the ground there. Just a great side-scrolling beat-em-up, and very, very challenging, guys. I've been trying to beat this a few times, and it's very difficult. You run out of continues, and it's over. Now here's a look at the practice mode in the VR training room. So this is where you can get to know the combos. It'll let you go in and switch between a couple of different characters and just learn the moves. So when you're playing it, you're a little bit more fluent with the controls, because like I said, there are several different combos you can pull off in the game, making it very, very not only challenging, but have a lot of longevity as you play through it. So just a good way to go in and practice your moves. Now here's a look at one of the vehicle levels. So you can see Skeletor's on his hovercraft and He-Man's on Battle Cat, and they're running through a side-scrolling beat-em-up style flying game, kind of like a shoot-em-up. So again, just many different versions and layers to the game, making it very fun. Alright, now I'm going to take a look at, here's Skeletor. Now one thing about him that's cool, and He-Man, is there's certain levels where you can call out your pet to do damage for you. Not only that, but you can jump on them and ride them or walk them through the levels. So it's very, very cool. Kind of like Golden Axe, where you were able to get on the creatures and jump on different vehicles and things like that to maneuver through the levels. Here's a look at She-Ra. It looks like she's got a Pegasus. Mainly when I play, I pick Lion-O or He-Man, but some of you guys might like some of these other characters, or when you're playing the 4-player mode, if you've got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet, you can get all 4 players playing at the same time, which makes it very fun and very cool. Now you can see how challenging it is here, guys. There's things rolling past, there's multiple enemies coming at you, there's spikes coming out of the ground, landmines, so very, very challenging. Some of the boss battles will wipe out an entire 4 lives, and you'll have to continue. So you'll have to get good at the combos as you go through it. Here's a look at He-Man on top of Battle Cat. So just kind of giving you guys a look at each of the different characters so you can see what they look like. But again, I want you guys to download this game and play it for yourself. So I don't want to show you guys too much of this, but I will show you guys a little bit more about Lion-O, because it's very interesting that they put him in the game, one of the Thundercats. He's definitely my favorite to play with. Here he is taking on the Sorceress in a battle and taking on He-Man in a versus battle. So again, guys, you know, what other game is going to give you a side-scrolling beat-em-up along with the versus mode in the same game, along with the shoot-em-up as well, I might add. So you've got several different options to choose from as you do this. There's a look at Orko and Ram and Man-at-Arms fighting against Lion-O. You see we've got all 4 players in the action right here. So go ahead and download the game, you guys, and you can play it on your PC. But in a second here, we're going to go over and I'm going to show you guys how it plays on the arcade, just to give you an idea of how cool it is when you're actually playing at the control deck with the joysticks. But let's wrap this up and head over to the arcade, and we'll take a look and see what this looks like on our arcade one. Here we go. Alright guys, so here we are at my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles modified ARCADE1UP, and you can see we have He-Man running on here beautifully. Now for those of you wondering how to set this up, you can see I've got my laptop right here. Now some people might want to put it inside the cabinet on a shelf, or if you have a PC you can just put it in there and put an HDMI splitter on the back, but I'm going to give you a peek at the inside here, because you guys can see this is our VS display from our mod, and you can see the HDMI cable is plugged in right there. So you're just going to unplug your Raspberry Pi and plug in the HDMI, and then the other end of that's going to go right into your computer or your laptop here. Now the other thing I wanted you to see is that I've got this headphone auxiliary jack going from the laptop sound up to my amplifier, so that's how we're getting the sound from the PC through the ARCADE1UP. And then the other most important thing is, you guys know on these control decks, each one has a USB port. So you're going to go ahead and unplug whichever one you want to use. I like to use player 1 or player 2 here in the middle. You're just going to unplug the USB port from the back from the Raspberry Pi, and you're just going to plug it into your computer. Now what that's going to allow you to do is, as you start the game, I'm going to go ahead and go to the options screen, and we're going to go to our controller setup. Now you can set up all four, so if you were to unplug all four of your ARCADE1UP USBs, you could plug them into a USB port that has multiple ports and plug all four in and configure all four, but we're going to just do player 1. So if I go up to player 1, and keep in mind I'm using my keyboard in my lap here for this part until we get it set up, I'm going to hit enter on player 1. Now for this, I'm just going to click on move up, and then I'm just going to hit up, and it's going to set up. Then we're going to go down to down, hit enter, I'm going to hit down, and you can see I've already got this configured to all of them. So you're going to do the same thing. When you have left, right, attack, jump, special, you're just going to set those up to what you want. The start button, I usually just set to the start button on the ARCADE1UP. There's even a screenshot button, so you can set that to your coin button, and you could actually take a screenshot while you're playing the game if there's a high score or a moment that you want to remember while you're playing. But that's basically it, guys. So then when we go back to OK, and then we'll go back to back, and then we're going to go back to back one more time, and we're going to start the game. We're going to do new game. We're going to do the story mode. Now you guys can see as I go through, I can actually use my control deck to control He-Man. So it's not rocket science, guys, but I know a lot of you guys aren't familiar with how to do this. So this is just an easy way to figure it out. So then we're going to pick Lion-O. Now, you guys already saw a lot of the gameplay, so I just wanted you to see that it was working on the screen here. You can see I can move the cursor for the map with my joystick. I can pick my level. And then boom, we're in. So we're playing He-Man on here, guys. So I hope you guys download this game and get it. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys end up enjoying the game, and I'll be doing more videos like this on some of these other open board games that are custom like this, because there's a lot that you can't play. There's even a new Ninja Turtles game that no one's ever played unless you've played it on open board. Think of it as a Ninja Turtles 3. There's even a Marvel Superheroes Infinity War game, which I'll do a video on that itself. But there it is, guys. This is Arizona's Arcade Heroes. If you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Leave any comments or questions in the video, and I will get back to you on that. Tell me what you liked or what you didn't like. But thanks again for watching Arizona's Arcade Heroes, and I'm out of here.
By the power of Grayskull!